Ugh. What's good, gang? Today I want to take a look at Evolve Velvet by Excite Audio. It's a synth that tries to combine vintage keyboards and acoustic instruments with a lo-fi vibe. As someone that really likes textures in my chord progressions and just music in general, I thought this would be a really cool synth to take a look at. By the way, if you like this video and you find this information useful, hit the like button, subscribe, join the crew. It's up to you. Let's get to the video. So Evolve Velvet has a number of cool features, and for the price, it's kind of insane that they're offering all of this. I think on Plugin Boutique, you can get this for $40 right now. So let's just go through some of the features. So first off, it has 4 sound sources, one A, B, C, and D. I was gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4. You can either drop your own samples in or use the samples that are in here, which we'll get to in a moment. You can also switch between samples or the synth oscillators. The synth oscillators has a nice little slider here where you can choose your shapes. You can't choose kind of like halfway shapes or anything crazy like that, but I think this is pretty good for what you're getting. The oscillator engines can be chosen on all 4 sound sources, or you can mix and match however you want to go about it. It has an XY pad here and effects mode, so you can switch between the XY pad and the effects mode, and it gets a bit more deeper than that, which is kind of cool. It has 250 sound sources. So first and foremost, you have all these presets here, which is kind of insane. But then when we're getting to the sound sources and you just click down underneath the samples, you can see we have acoustics, chords, multi-samples, synths, textures, and transients, and in each one of them is a plethora of sounds. So you cannot run out of sound sources on this thing before you even begin to bring in your own samples. And it has a randomization engine, which I don't think I've ever seen this before. Let me know in the comments if you've seen another synth do this, but check this out. So here we have a sound. What we can do now is we can randomize it, but it has like multiple stages of randomization. So depending on where hit on this little slider you select, it throws the dice further and it changes more and randomizes more things. So let me show you. So basically I'm gonna just hit it once here. Now I'm gonna do it halfway. That was crazy. And then I'm gonna do it all the way. That's crazy. I like to keep this edit button open as well because it gives me more of the UI so I can see what's going on here. So yeah, this randomizes sounds, parameters, and effects. Very useful, very interesting, and you can change the randomization settings too as to what you do and don't want to randomize. I've never seen this before, again, and I've got quite a few synths. So I don't know, I think that's really cool. It has 4 macros, soften, warmth, sway, and haze, as you can see here, and you can modulate them fully. It has the regular sample parameters, sound browser, pitch, fine tone, all the stuff you'd see on any synth. So it's very useful. It has a like function, and it doesn't do the annoying thing that Pigments does, where if you like something, it shoots to the top of it, just stays where it is, so you can go through it methodically and like it. I think that's very useful, and then when you're done, you can just go to your favorites and they're all in this favorite section. You can also save your own presets, which is something that every synth should have regardless. It has all the usual effects and parameters that you would expect. As you can see here, it has compressors, delays, EQs. It's actually way more than that, and you can mix and match them and change where you want them to be. So it's very useful in that way. There's no rule to how you want to do this. It's just you have them where you want, and that's that. Filter's great. The modulation is verbose. It's very in-depth. So I'm gonna just show you this menu here. As you can see, it looks very similar to a lot of synths that we've seen before. It has a delete all function, which I really like, and you can delete them individually, change the amounts, the curves, all in this menu here, and you can see everything that's happening right in front of you, as long as you have the edit button selected. The settings page has everything you need it to have. It's just a regular settings page where you could change the number of voices, legato, glide, like it literally has everything you need. And I love that it has the pitch bend and global pitch. Very important to me, because sometimes I like to change the hertz of the whole track, and you can do that here with a click of a button. So of course there's a full version and a light version. The full version just has a lot more modulation options and sounds and sound sources. So a lot more presets, a lot more sound sources, and a lot more modulation freedom. But I don't see why I would get the light version when it's just $40. It has a rent to own option too, so getting the light version just doesn't make any sense to me if you're planning to get this. I want to use this section to talk about the sounds in this thing. They are so cool. So the presets alone had me captured. I'm not really a person that likes to make sounds too much unless there's a specific goal I have in mind, or if I'm trying to make some sort of sample pack. But the presets on this thing complement each other. They're made to be layered, and it's very interesting how they go about doing that. I made this beat in like 10 minutes and it was just so straightforward. I'm gonna just walk you through the beat, and I used Excite in every section of this bar the drums. Just for the sake of time, I'll just show you what we have here for the drums. Yep, so that's just the drum section, whatever. And then we have the bass section. So for the bass, I'm using a stock 808. I've just frozen it. I don't know if you can actually see that, but I've frozen it, so there's not much to talk about with that, but it's just a regular 808. I layered it with this preset called Up This, and just check this. It just complements the 808. Yeah, it sounds evil and vindictive, but yeah, anyway, let's move on. So let's start from the top and work our way down. I have this left and right kind of, I don't know, it's just some sounds just to widen out the entirety of the track. So first off, we have this one that's called bit bass. Very harsh and very like sharp tones. And this is from the experimental section. I used a lot from the experimental section, by the way, because I just enjoy it so much. And then I layered it with this effect called Followed by Ghosts. And together they sound like this. I used bit bass again because I liked it so much. I was like, what would this sound like with chords? Well, here's how it sounds with chords. So that's pretty cool. And then I layered it with another experimental sound called Sunbaked. And this one kind of just keeps going with sound D. I think it's really cool. And then together, these two sound like this. And then I kind of just finished it off with this cool top line using a pluck from the pluck section called Another Land. And as you can see, it's modulated to constantly move around on the XY pad. So you're getting like this really nice sound that's just not staying the same throughout the whole song. It's kind of bouncing around. It's really cool. So let's just play that whole section together. that's the whole section. So here's how all of that comes together. And that just keeps going, and I really like that. I think it's really cool. By the way, if you like any of those sounds or just my melodies that I come up with in general, let me know if I should make a melody pack. How many melodies would you want in that pack? 30, 10, let me know, and then I will work it out and get that done, and we'll do like a really cool thing in the Discord, or I'll just throw it up on my website. So let me know in the comments. For me personally, this synth really speaks to me as something that I can use when I just want to add texture and I can't be bothered to do the things I normally do, which also gives me a different type of sound that I can kind of add to my sound, a different dimension that I can add to my sound and combine them together to get some new textures in there, because sometimes you tend to fall into doing the same thing over and over to the point where yes, it's your sound, but also it might get a little bit stale for you. So for me personally, this has been eye-opening. I really like the synth, and it's only $40, so you know what I'm saying? Some things I don't like about the synth. I don't like the color of the synth, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't found a way to change the skin. It's just horrible to look at for a long period of time. I'd like some more depth in the color, but other than that, I don't really have any qualms with it. I like how everything is straight there. As soon as you open it, you can see everything. You don't have to menu dive to find anything, and that's really cool. I think sometimes these days the UI is more important than anything else, and this UI is clean. Love the presets. The presets are awesome. I recommend trying it. It's got I think it's got a 7-day trial, so you can pick this up and try it out, see if you can come up with any songs. The way I normally pick my synths is when I try them out and I have an immediate connection with them, then they're more likely to stay in my library. And this is another big thing, 7-day trial. Any company that's doing the thing where white noise takes over the plugin after a certain amount of time, instead of just doing a couple of days trial, you need to learn from this. You need to learn from Excite Audio. This is the way to do it, because now I can have a proper judgment of whether I like it without any frustrating things messing up my workflow. It's a no-brainer, really. And the rent to own. I like that it has a rent to own option. So for me, this is a really cool plugin. By the way, for my next video, I will be talking about Analog Lab, but specifically some sound packs that you may not be aware of that are actually really good. So look forward to that video. Anyway, this has been Piccolo Black. That was Evolve Velvet. Catch you in the next one.